It was extremely specific, that geophysics work, abstracted in many ways, without reference to human, but in fear of human and its synthetic distortions. In light of machines, the human intuition still on top. I see a glimmer of recognition, a memory perhaps, personal experience rendered useless, still a guide, a twinkle, a gem, its value clear if misunderstood, its function empowered if vague. A world away, not a plane away, and yet only a plane away. Pushing buttons, understanding reactions, from young to old and anywhere in between. Glasgow, London and Berlin. Location doesn't matter. Video, sound, computers and paint. Observing, recording things in many ways. Always looking for the abstract, but always trying to understand. Trying to understand. So much in common, yet so far apart. Are we so different? From globe comes global, and within global is the acknowledgement of human. Change is measured over time. Change can be witnessed as a flow, from one state to the next, perhaps migration. A recognition that both art and science research the world, and that flow in one form or another can be seen as an action of change on the world. A starting point based on an agreement that two very different perspectives had similar concerns. Some seemingly arbitrary subjects follow. Pencil and surface. A recognition of interconnectedness and an acknowledgement of alien objects and concepts allows a focus to occur on surface, which can be related to flow, to human, to time, to globe. The pencil exposes the difference in perspectives that arises from processes, and there is an acknowledgement of how those processes inform thought. The processes must not only have a common subject, but also be interchangeable. They must be used scientifically and artistically. The leap is not so easy, but our approaches are exposed and ideas hurled. There is a realization that the balance between creative surges and methodology needs to be maintained, and slowly, bit by bit, misconceptions and reflexes are smoothed away. No one is looking for truth. Both look for insight. Both have questions. Both want answers. Neither expects definitive results. From process back to subject and perspective, we find common grounds are easier to come by. The ground yields the next result. We think of surface and we think of perspective. This includes flow and time. One thinks of the surface of a road and moves in and out within the sphere of a human encounter. The other does the same, but moves in and out on the scale of matter, from global to infinitesimal. The realization that what one calls context and the other calls scale is essentially both the same. The process reveals topography, and with topography comes our relation as researcher, both creative and scientific, and the potential that both matter and human combined reveal something of a symbiotic world. Subject selected, road surface and flow along it. Processes picked, video, audio and seismological. Set up video to focus on the pavement and road, the microphone next to the camera. Seismometer not sensitive enough, so not used. Location picked. Set out to find a road. Need good level of traffic, otherwise swamp recorded datasets. Chosen road near London Fields, near a small junction. Plan plotted. Record traffic for 10 minutes. We considered the ways that we both understood topography, and the ways that our process could investigate topography. In one instance, data is gathered and a topography is generated. In another, information is gathered and the process reveals something more about the subject. In combination, we are revealing something more. We are generating data from an experience rather than matter. We are simultaneously evaluating and interpreting. We are creating and discovering. It seems that a digitizing program collects and generates numerical data. This data is given a value that corresponds to a coordinate within a field. In this case, a photograph. It was uncertain at first what the value system was that the program was using. Using this data, a topographic relief map of the photograph, of the light in the photograph. The topography was colour-coded. The scientist chose a random colour scale. The artist found it difficult justifying the use of the colour schemes that were being applied to the topography, colour being such an important part of the presentation of any visual display. The artist desired a likeness or a representation of the initial image, to gain intuition to lead to understanding. The scientist accepted the data and wanted to explore meaning by diversifying the testing. A compromise was made, a colour palette that suited the tone of the picture, but also provided added detail. In both respects, a sense of the result was sought, both demanding more intense engagement but on different levels. Both were testing theories but from different ends of the spectrum. One assumes a connection and seeks to explain, the other wants to map the connection with more results. Both test theories. In this sense, it seems that we are witnessing a topographic model of a visual encounter through the medium of light. Initially thinking of light as the positive value, that which grabs our attention, that which points the way to understanding what is viewed. Human nature indicates a predisposition for gleaming objects or luminous encounters. Yet it was an arbitrary manipulation, a negative, that made the most sense. Positive and negative, such a familiar thing, yet so powerful. With one the artist sees what he wants, with another he struggles with links. It was the shadow that defines the shape of the object. It was the shadow of the object that was more important for its identification. The topographies were creating a kind of three-dimensional equivalent of the experience of perceiving. It seems to suggest that a physical equivalence to the effect of a viewing experience is possible. The scientist isn't bothered with links, but looks for interesting shapes and features. What's new? What have we missed previously? What does this show? So many questions, so many possibilities.